Hello everybody, I am back. Yesterday I was not able to make a video. Busy day. Sometimes that happens. But I definitely wanted to get my thoughts out there to you right now. First of all, a couple of things. Some interesting things, actually. I've been noticing quite a bit of bullish articles surfacing. As a matter of fact, as some of you may recall this, earlier this year, I did a video about this guy who writes a newsletter. I don't get his newsletter, but I get his emails, which have like a summary of what's in the newsletter. I mean, it's a guy I know. And, if you recall, back in March, April, May, he kept writing in his newsletter that he needs to see all the conditions come together in order to turn bullish. Like the guy was consistently bearish, and he even spoke about some of his subscribers, feeling a little bit frustrated because they were watching the market climb higher, and he stayed resolutely bearish throughout the whole thing, and he kept saying, we need to see this and this and this and this and this happen before I could turn bullish, right? This is the classic, we need the uncertainty to go away. We need the uncertainty to go away, and then we could jump in there when everything is all aligned up perfect. We could jump in there and buy without any worries whatsoever. And all along I said, well, this is folly. It's almost comical in its lack of understanding and lack of sophistication. Number one, and you've heard me say it many times, uncertainty is the natural state of things, and the market loves uncertainty. Okay, we climb the wall of worry. That's the old saying, which applies even to this day. Certainty is when you really have to be afraid. When everybody is feeling optimistic and everybody is feeling bullish, or when there is certainty about things like certain fiscal austerity or certain, inability to meet the demands of what people need to consume. When there's no more water, when there are no more resources, when there's no more productive capacity, when you have that certain condition, that's the worst kind of certainty, okay? But anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. So now the guy is like, he's coming out with all this bullish stuff, and he says now, Dow theory, right? These people who rely on these kind of tea leaf reading systems, Dow theory. He's like, Dow theory is now confirming that we are in a bull market. So this guy waited and waited and waited back in April and May and March when the S&P was, 2040, 2030, 2050. Now we're pushing 2200. He waited the whole time. Now it's like, now the Dow theory is saying, it's okay to go in. So this is number one. Number two, we saw a big increase in bullish sentiment for the first time, really, in the AAII, the American Association of Individual Investors Weekly Survey. And I had that in the MMT Trader Report. This is the first time in this whole entire year that the bullish sentiment percentage was above its historical average, okay? So the bulls are starting to mount. They're starting to jump in there. Next, and I spoke about this, you have guys like Stanley Druckenheimer, right? The guy who back in May at the Iris Zone Investment Conference in New York said, sell everything, especially stocks, and buy gold. And that was the worst advice you could have possibly given anyone. And I said that at the time, and I wrote about it, many different posts that I put up on Real Money. And I made a number of videos here about how that was stupid, idiotic, very, very unsophisticated advice. All right, but now he's bullish. Now he's optimistic. Now he's buying. So you see the reversal in sentiment. And I talked about this. I said, one day I'm going to be making videos where we're not going to be making fun of the cockroaches. We're going to be making fun of like kind of the reverse cockroaches and the zombies who are now thinking the coast is clear. Everything lines up. There's no more uncertainty. The Dow theory they got a reverse death cross or whatever else they look at. Now, what's interesting about all this, the backdrop, as you know, I don't even focus on these things other than to get a sort of a contrarian snapshot. But I look at the flows, I look at bank credit. And those things actually, as we are, flying up here to new highs in the stock market, new record highs, those things are actually looking a little bit weak. This year, so far as it's starting out, fiscal year 2017, the fiscal flows, total government spending is struggling to keep up with last year. Now, I'm not saying that that's a death knell for the rally, but, it's a little bit disappointing, I have to say. The other thing is that bank credit, the growth in the rate of bank credit, which is the other kind of money, right? We have high-powered money, which is the government's money when it spends, and it spends into the economy, which flows to the income of firms and households. Then there's bank credit, which is really just basically a tax on the non-bank sector, but it can support consumption and investment. And bank credit growth, see, I don't just look at the nominal level, which is at record highs. You got to have some context with that. So I look at year-over-year growth. That's slowing down. So you have the two pillars of the economy, which is government spending and bank credit. They're both slowing down. Or, one is struggling to keep pace with last year. That's government spending. And the bank credit is slowing down, bank credit growth. But then you have all these people who were wrong at the beginning of the year being so bearish, suddenly now saying, oh, it's great, it's wonderful, it's going up, I'm an optimist, it's the Dow theory. So, what is my conclusion? Well, I don't think the rally's over. I think there's things here that we got to keep an eye on. It's not low-hanging fruit like it was back in February and March and April, May and June, July and August. All right? But just like the zombies and the cockroaches can go crazy on the downside, they can go crazy on the upside too. But it's going to create a juicy selling opportunity at some point. We'll take their money on the way down. You see, all you people who think I was a perma bull the whole time, doesn't apply to me. I mean, I go with conditions, and I know what conditions are. Most of you don't. And the big shots, well, what they do is they guess. They guess. If it's not obvious to you now, I don't know how it could be any more plain. They guess. They don't know what's going on. How can Druckenmiller say in May, sell everything, and now everything's fantastic now? They guess. And by the way, my interest rate call was stunning. It was amazing. Nobody had that. All right, I had it at the right time. I had it for the right reasons. Nobody else had that. All right, so that's my update for now. See you guys later. Bye-bye.